What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and here's a topic I want to talk about for a while now. Actually, over the last, I'd say maybe 6+ months, I've kept putting off making a video about it. And then a little bit extra would come out, and I'd think about doing it again, and I'd start mocking it up, and I just kind of forget about it, and then eventually it would repeat the cycle. So something actually happened today. There was an announcement today which actually finally was the straw that broke the camel's back. So, what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about microtransactions. Now, not in the sense of microtransactions that you're probably thinking and that you're used to everyone harping on about, myself included, just over all sorts of crappy real world microtransactions put into games and put into specifically full price retail games. Anyway, that's beside the point. That's not what I want to talk about. What I am going to talk about is where this money goes, and in particular, where this money goes in specific cases of specific purchases. So we all know generally when microtransactions are sold, or what do you call them, sold? When people pay for microtransactions, basically, 99% of the time the money either goes directly to the developer or to the publisher or owner or something along those lines. And it's generally considered that the developer or publisher can use said money to help develop new content or pay people when they're developing, say, new skins or new games or new IPs if it goes to a publisher, whatever it is. So generally, it's safe to say that that money gets reinvested into the same developer, same game, or same company, if you will, 99% of the time. Now, I'm going to turn back the clock a little bit real quick. So, when Halo 5, because Halo 5 Guardians was the first game that really did it for me and really kind of, it really set it off, and it kind of bothered me, and I almost made it back then, and then I almost made it again with a different game, and now I'm actually making it, but I'll get on top of all three of those main ones. So anyway, when you're looking at Halo 5 Guardians, so naturally with the big focus on esports these days and competitions in essence hosted by the actual developer or publisher or owner or whatever, or games, or not games, or competitions that are kind of a broad spectrum thing that encompass maybe a dozen different games of probably all the same genre or something like that. So there's multiple different ones, but a lot of the time these tournaments and tours or whatever actually have cash prizes, and some of them can be fairly hefty and significant cash prizes. So, where does this money come from? Well, depending on who is actually hosting it and what the rules and, I won't call them rules, but rules and outlines of the actual tournament are, the money can come from several different places. It can come from sponsors. It can come in part or maybe even entirely from the publisher or developer. And I really hope you're not hearing that dog barking. But anyway, there's also one extra route where money can come from that isn't really talked about too much, but I consider kind of not so much shady, but kind of shitty, if you ask me. And this is just my opinion on it. So first off, there's all the microtransactions that we hate. Everyone hates paying real money for skins. Everyone hates paying real money for extra unlocks. Everyone hates paying real money for whatever it is, in the sense that you should be able to unlock them in game as it is without an overly excessive grind just to get it to encourage you to spend real money. So Halo 5 did this with the rec system. Now the rec system, I'm not going to go into detail about it, but we all know, and I won't call it love, the rec system as it is, and you can earn almost everything from the actual in-game items from the rec system with in-game currency. Basically, you can grind it out and actually unlock almost all of it. Now, the exception of that is whenever 343 Industries and Microsoft have these big Halo Pro tournament bowls and pro competitions and all that stuff. Yes, there's big money out there to be won and all as well. But usually what you have is you have these, what do we call them? They're these rec packs that have one or two weapon designs or a couple of weapon designs or maybe a skin or an emblem or something like that. And they'll all be designed on a specific pro gaming team. Now, I'm not going to get into my opinions on pro gaming teams in detail because I think pro gaming in general is a joke, and so are esports, but that's beside the point because I'll rant about that for a week. Now, the fact is that when you look at the details of these packs, I've never bought one of these packs, but it tells you specifically in the details of these packs that a portion of the proceeds will go to this team, or a portion of the proceeds. For example, there was a pack recently in Halo 5 that was to do with, I believe it was the France, I want to say. I think it was a French tournament, and it's like a portion of this will go to the actual Halo 5 tournament bowl. So essentially, you're paying to get skins, and this money is going to be used at a tournament for other people. I think that's bullshit, if you ask me. And okay, so I'm going to leave it there for Halo. We're going to move on to Gears of War 4. Gears of War 4 is the same deal. They have all the individual, you can buy the weapon skins. I think they're €7.99 each, which is pretty fucking steep for just a weapon skin. And it says a portion of the proceeds will go to whoever and will go to whatever team and all that crap. There's also the things like you've got the pro, let's just call it the Gears of War 4 esports pack, and a portion of this money paid for this will go to the actual prize money in these tournaments, which again is kind of bullshit. And I have to say as well, is almost all the items in game for Gears of War 4 and for Halo 5 Guardians can be earned using in-game currency. These packs, these esport packs, and these whatever we'll call them, pro gaming skin packs and all, cannot be bought with in-game currency. They can only be bought with real-world money. Now, moving on to what actually triggered me making this video. So, the straw that broke the camel's back was today I saw the announcement of Street Fighter V and their whole Capcom Pro Tour 2017 thing. Now, I'm going to read something off the website here. It's read from a website, so might not make 100% grammatical sense because games journalism being a fucking joke that it is. But anyway, here it goes. To coincide with the launch of the Capcom Pro Tour 2017, a couple of new outfits have been added to Street Fighter V for Ryu and Ken. The Capcom Cup Collection costumes, wow, that's talk about alliteration. The Capcom Cup Collection costumes see Ryu and Ken dressed up in some smart fight gear, available only for a limited time. Purchases of the 2017 Capcom Pro Tour Pass will grant access to all of the limited Capcom Cup content. Jesus, alliteration for days. Including exclusive EX colors for all 28 characters, the 16 launch and the 12 DLC characters, special in-game items, special in-game titles, not items, and access to Guile's CPT Champion's Choice costumes. More alliteration everywhere. And a new Capcom Pro Tour esports stage set to arrive at a later date. Should you purchase the pass, you'll also be contributing to the Capcom Pro Tour 2017 prize pool, so someone else can win your cash for being well good at Street Fighter V. Costumes will be available separately for €6 each, while the stage will cost $9.99 on its own. Now, as I said, that was read from a website, not their dedicated actual announcement. So it was kind of putting the actual author's individual spin on it. Hence why, him being English and all that, you could basically hear it when he said, let me read the bit that's very English. So someone else can win your cash for being well good at Street Fighter V. I picked that line to repeat for two reasons. One, it's a very good example of English people being English with their English, and, it doesn't make sense in the real world. But the other reason I picked it is that when you buy these skins, which seemingly cannot be available, or cannot be unlocked in-game, because there's no mention of that, and we all know how the whole Street Fighter V business model is. And the fact that when you buy these costumes, or these stages, or stage, I should say, or pass, or whatever combination it is you buy them, some of your money is literally going to someone else just for playing the game and winning. I think that's some absolute bullshit. Capcom, Microsoft, 343 Industries, whoever, Microsoft, the coalition, whoever, you people should be funding your own tournaments and stumping up your own cash for your own tournaments for these prizes. It's not on other people. This should be on you to promote your game. I know Street Fighter V is a joke and it should never exist because it's ridiculously bad. But my point is, that perfectly makes sense. I mean, Capcom basically know that no one wants to play Street Fighter V, so they have to get the people who do play it to spend extra money to get money to actually give the Street Fighter V players. It all makes sense now. But it's not just limited to Capcom. Capcom, Microsoft, I'm using Microsoft because they've got the Halo 5 and Gears of War 4 versions in there as well. I think this is just all bullshit. This should not happen. When you buy something, your money should go in completely to the developer, not in part to some crappy team who should not exist, or it should not go into the kitty for a big pool of prize money for, some what's the word I'm looking for? ADD medication addicted kid. I can't remember the name of it. We don't really have that shit over here because I'm not gonna make that comment actually because a bunch of Americans will get butthurt. But you get my point. So it's ridiculous. We as gamers are being milked dry as it is. It's fucking ridiculous in this day and age to think of what we have to pay for and what we get for what we have to pay for. And it's ridiculous because we get screwed basically everywhere. And they're screwing us even more. Now we're basically paying other people to win tournaments. We're paying companies to promote their own game, in essence, to host these tournaments. And I said it earlier in this video, esports is a joke. It should not exist. But I'm not blind to the whole situation. I realize there's more than these 3 games that do it. Chances are, don't quote me on this because it's just a guess, but I'm sure games like League of Legends, games like Smite, games like Dota 2, probably even Heroes of the Storm, I'm sure all these types of games actually do this kind of stuff as well. Now, maybe some do, maybe some don't. There's probably some extra ones that I've never even heard of, or probably there's other ones that I'm just forgetting about. And I think every single one of them that do it is absolute bullshit. It wouldn't surprise me if Overwatch did it as well, despite Activision Blizzard being one of the fucking biggest, if not the biggest games company or games publishing studio, publishing house, whatever, in the world. With Call of Duty and all the Blizzard stuff, with how much money all that shit makes, it's ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not 100% sure if Blizzard or not actually do it, but the point is, this is Capcom. They have not great quality franchises anymore, but they're a big AAA publisher. They should be able to do all this shit themselves. Microsoft have infinite money. They should be able to do all this shit themselves. So all these companies and all these publishers and developers and whatever, do it yourself. Stump up your own cash. If you want to host a tournament to promote your game and exposure on your game on a worldwide platform or whatever, that cost is on you and not us. It's absolute bullshit. I've never bought any of these, any of these esport endorsing packs, any of these esport or team endorsing skins, and I'm so glad to say I never will. I really hope you guys don't either, because even if sure, the argument can be made, oh, it's my money, I'll do with it what I want, or I really like that skin. You just look at the bigger picture and realize what they're doing to you and the way they see you, and you deserve to be treated better than that. As a gamer, as a person in general, as a consumer. But you get my point. Let me know anyway in the comment section below is where do you stand on all this stuff? Would you happily throw all your money at it just to support them? Would you happily throw all your money at it if it's something you really like? Or do you think it's absolute bullshit that these people are making money off your purchases, or that these people are making money off your prize pool that you're helping create? What the deal is? Let me know all of that in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter, details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the rest of the videos in my channel.